because we rely on energy for everything, to manufacture, to transport goods and food, to have a quality of life where we can have electricity that's reliable. And I'm from New York City, and sometimes in New York City we don't always think about where that energy comes from, right? We just turn on the lights, we pull up at the gas pump, we go in the store, we buy our food. We never think about where it's actually produced or how it's produced. But lately, my constituents are paying a lot more attention because they're getting those higher utility bills. They're seeing that, gas prices are more today than they were 2 years ago. And they're seeing that, that transportation of food is actually driving the price of their products up at the supermarket. So I'd love to ask Mr. Bravetti if you can comment on how much more is the potential for American energy production here in Oklahoma and America. How much more potential is there for us to be energy independent and, as you said, not rely on adversaries? It's important for our national security, it's important for our independence, and it's important to reduce prices for American families. And my second question would be, how are Biden's policies hindering that production and, in the end, increasing the cost of energy and food for my constituents back home in New York?
Both great questions, and typically we recover about 20% of the oil in place. We maybe get a little bit more on natural gas, 50 to 75. So we're leaving a lot of hydrocarbons in the ground, and technology will help us recover those. So it's not going to go away. We're going to be able to develop that, and that's going to be able to help the consumer. From the standpoint of your second question, what can be done? I mean, one of the things is pipelines. I think your home state has blocked pipelines going through them, and we have such tremendous gas reserves that are in the Appalachian area. And so that gas has to come here. That gas comes through, and Oklahoma gas has to compete for space in the pipelines, whereas that gas could go to the East Coast and be made into LNG.
Greetings, friends. Happy Saturday to all of you. They are negotiating right now. Top lawmakers in Congress, including Speaker Kevin McCarthy and President Biden, are working together to fix Social Security as a recession looms over the United States. There are many relief provisions that have been proposed to help seniors and retirees. Dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video, especially if you are a Social Security recipient. Also, at the end of today's video, I will be announcing the 2 winners from yesterday's Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter the next giveaway, please make sure that you click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My dear friends, the more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances of winning the weekly giveaways. Now, friends, according to several economists and a former White House official, there is one way to force President Biden and Congress to solve the looming crisis over the debt limit, and that is a financial market crash. Republicans and Democrats have been dancing around each other about the need to raise the government's legal borrowing authority. This week, President Biden tried to edge closer by releasing his budget plan that cuts deficits by $2.9 trillion over 10 years. This was an offer that House Speaker Kevin McCarthy quickly dismissed as insufficient. Republicans in the House Freedom Caucus also proposed their own demands, which the White House quickly rejected. The crisis could persist for several more months until the last possible moment, when the federal government would hit a currently unknown X date and be unable to pay its bills, possibly setting off a default that would suddenly wash away millions of jobs. But in the past, Congress has found agreement on the debt limit. But the question now, in a period of ever-increasing political polarization is whether today is different. Biden said of the possible default, every single major economic institution, conservative, liberal, says they will cause a massive recession. However, Speaker Kevin McCarthy has promised to put together his own budget plan, but he has little urgency for striking any kind of deal, so long as the stock market stays relatively calm. He has said he wants an agreement to put the government on a path towards a balanced budget, but he has ruled out tax increases or cuts of Medicare and Social Security, which would force deep and controversial reductions in federal spending that may divide House Republicans. President Biden, who would reduce deficits largely through higher taxes on the wealthy and corporations, has stated he is ready to go through budget agreements line by line once Kevin McCarthy has his numbers. But McCarthy's leverage is greatest as the X-date approaches at some point this summer. But no one is rooting for the markets to sink, as Republican lawmakers weigh the possibility of prioritizing repayments to debt holders. There is a sense that markets need to jolt Congress into quick action. So, dear friends, what do you think that our government will do about the debt ceiling? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Now, Social Security is heading for a funding cliff, with its trust fund reserves potentially becoming insolvent by the year 2033. This is an outcome that would mean beneficiaries would face a 25% shave on their monthly benefit checks. But there is a way to fix most of that funding shortfall. Policy experts say, smash the cap. That refers to the Social Security tax cap. It is a feature of the program since it was launched in the 1930s, following the Great Depression. Essentially, any income over the earnings cap is not subject to the Social Security payroll tax, which is 6.2% for workers and an additional 6.2% for employers. In 2023, the cap stands at $160,200, which means any income above that amount is exempt from the payroll tax. And as a result, middle and lower income workers bear much of a greater tax burden in funding Social Security than the 6% of Americans who earn above that threshold. And that is why the Congressional Budget Office, the federal agency that provides financial analysis of policy issues, calls the Social Security tax cap regressive, because middle and low-income workers will pay a much greater share of their income towards a program than the rich. Eliminating or lifting the tax cap may help stabilize Social Security's trust fund by providing more revenue to the program. A December analysis by the CBO found that eliminating the tax cap for earnings over $250,000 would keep the trust fund solvent through the year 2046. Meanwhile, some lawmakers are proposing changes that include both getting rid of the tax cap and other changes to address Social Security's funding challenges. Senator Bernie Sanders, an independent from the state of Vermont, and Senator Elizabeth Warren, a Democrat from Massachusetts, said in February that they would like to stabilize the trust fund for the next 75 years. So, dear friends, what do you think will happen to Medicare and Social Security in the next 10 years? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. My most awesome and dearest friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Saturday. Thank you, my dear friends, for being part of this community and for joining me here every single day. The two winners of yesterday's Walmart gift card giveaway is Mike Cole and Eric Mudd. To claim your gift card, please check your notifications page and send me a message. Or you can send me a message through my Facebook page. Thank you, my friends, and have a wonderful and very blessed weekend.